All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Off Axis podcast. I'm here with Abby Walker. We've got some important stuff to talk about today. For those of you who are new to this, please consider subscribing. We have a brand new YouTube channel, and if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you can also subscribe and help support the channel. So, Abby, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I'm a little sore. Did some hand balancing today, so I have 0 shoulders left, but that's okay.
Oh, man.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm on muscle relaxers because I have that back pain.
Right.
And they make you a little drowsy, so I might spill some, I don't know what.
It's going to be a fun show. I can't wait.
So for those of you who are listening today, we got some topics. I'm going to read over the topics that we're going to talk about. That way, if you guys want to skip towards them, or if there's something specific that catches your mind, you want to listen to it. Here's the topics of today. We're going to talk about importance of side income as a performer, independent contractor, developing passive income. Cirque announces some new shows. We got the Ignite show. Shaquille O'Neal has a residency at the Wynn as a DJ. Bruno Mars is kicking it back off, one of the first big celebrity concerts. Got the Tao nightclub opening back up. Penn and Teller. We have some political / shouldn't be political, but like it is news. The Micaiah stabbing, which is a pretty controversial topic, so we're going to save that stuff for last. We got Mr. Mayor of Portland, who is now asking citizens to do the police's job after he cut their budget. Kind of funny. And then we got the UFC this past weekend and online dating. So if you guys want to listen to any of those specific ones, we encourage you to listen to the whole podcast, but we don't mind if you skip forward ahead. So first off, let's talk about the importance of a side income as a performer. Because I think, I've been telling people this. When I first started this podcast, it was right before COVID. And the whole point was to try to convince people like, hey, you probably shouldn't just rely on being a performer.
Just one thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's so many things that can happen. Like, hey, what happens if you get hurt? What happens if Cirque fires you or your job fires you? What happens if the show closes? What happens if the
pandemic happens?
No one saw that one coming.
Right.
So yeah, I've been saying it's very important, and it seems like some people have survived this whole thing, and they got through on unemployment and still haven't got like a normal job. But then you see a lot of performers who are now getting like side jobs. Like for example, Mason, my roommate, is now doing rope access. I see people that are turning into like electricians and plumbers, and
it's really cool to see all the different skills that people have developed in this time or had them, and they were just either underdeveloped prior to the pandemic because they just didn't have time to. I know that there's really a toss up between performers who are still on unemployment and still going gung-ho with training, which is awesome. And then there are other performers who have taken side jobs or like a normal person job. And like kind of with the rope access one, I know one of my friends, she became a rope climbing instructor. So she's working at like Climb Las Vegas or whatever it is. And then there are a couple of others that it's really cool how it kind of ties into some facet of performing, but they've been able to make it work for them.
Yeah. So everyone's got side jobs and stuff now. Wish they would have started it sooner though. And like creating passive income is so important. And people should have been, I don't know. I feel like whenever I've had a show job, I've always thought like, okay, this is some nice side income right now to try to get like something else going for me. Yeah. Because you almost have like, when you're a performer, you have so much free time. Like you can perform a few hours a day.
That's something that I struggled with a lot. Like my first 2 years on tour, my first year, like I didn't know what to do. I had just come from graduating college a year early, so I was always busy, and I was on a team then, so even less time. And then when I got to performing, I was like, I don't know what to do with free time. And it was so hard for me. And then I started kind of trying to find an avenue. And eventually I've gone through so many different side jobs, and like all of them, I'm just like, is this for me? Nope. And now we've kind of landed on a couple. But yeah, it is so true that performers have so much free time. Like when you're not on stage or when you're not in rehearsals and you just have those couple of days in a new city or in the same city for 6 to 8 weeks or so, like it's a lot of time to explore or get bored.
Yeah. People are like either going to be like, oh, I have a job now, I can relax or something.
Mm-hmm.
For me, when I first got like one of our first tours booked from the stunt show, it was around the time that I was first getting the footwear company started. And I was like, okay, now I don't have to do Postmates every single day to make enough money to get by. I can really focus on like creating the shoe brand and launching it and getting it all going. So that first tour that I did with like Flame Creek Circus was like, it was essentially like freedom to me, because we had like 8 hours a day where I was just sitting around doing nothing, and I could finish the designs for the shoes and get all that stuff going. So I use that time. I've always thought of performing as like, oh, now this is like time for me to save up and use this time to create something else.
Yeah. You use your time wisely, and that's amazing, because I don't know. There's definitely a mindset out there, and it's totally fine, but where it's just like settle and then wait. You're just happy with what you got, just kind of going by. But I hate having free time. I'm just like, I need to keep making money, like get better at something. So
yeah, get ahead.
Well, and it's just a good life skill to learn, is just using your time wisely and efficiently, and making sure that it will pay off in the future for you, whether it be with knowledge or with finance.
Yeah. And everyone has 24 hours in a day, so it's about how you spend that 24 hours. Like Elon Musk has the same 24 hours, but I bet you his whole entire schedule is completely full. And as like for advice that I could give to someone, it's write things down in your notebook and get those things done. Like whenever you think of an idea, like, oh, I should do this. As an independent contractor, people struggle with scheduling themselves. Like if there's not someone there to schedule you, you have to schedule yourself. So you got to be like 8 a.m. This is when I start my day. I have 8 hours until show start, or whatever it is that you're doing. Like
you got to keep yourself accountable.
Yeah. Like, and maybe like after shows, like brainstorm and think about things that you can really use to create tools like to better yourself in the future.
Yeah. And I think there's also a fine line between being busy and being like useful with your time and efficient, because even if you like, the great thing about being your own boss is that you get to create your own schedule. So as long as you stick to it, you can sleep for 10 hours a day or whatever, and then only do work for 5 or 6 or 7 hours, but you just have to jam pack it, and you have to make sure that you are keeping yourself accountable for that. Yep. And then you can plan in your free time, because I think having relaxing time like that, even though it sounds dumb, like having your own me time is so useful, and it just is a nice recharge, refresh for your brain. Yeah,
definitely. And then to follow up with that, our next topic is passive income. And passive income, for those of you who don't know, that's freedom. That is freedom. Like literally
is the goal of life.
That's the goal of life. So the book Rich Dad Poor Dad is the one that really got me on passive income, because
me too, actually.
Yeah. So I actually have this board game. It's called Rat Race. It's by the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah.
And basically, it's basically like Monopoly, but real life. So basically, let's say they'll give you a character and you're a plumber. You make $2,000 a month and you have $1,200 in bills. The idea behind money is to make your money work for itself. So if you can create enough passive income to where it pays off all $1,200 of your bills, you're free. You don't have to work anymore. So for me, like a good example was I needed $2,000 a month to survive. In the moment that my YouTube channel got to $2,000, I was like, that's freedom. I don't have to work anymore. Like if I could sit on the couch for a month, I'm going to keep making that $2,000 a month, and then I can use that time towards other things, or just keep developing that. So for me, I think the best samples of passive income, for one, I always say YouTube. YouTube it's the ultimate lucrative way of making passive income, because you can get sponsorship deals. Of course, you have to have a good channel and people and put all the effort into it. There's ad revenue. You can market your own products. Like, for example, I have a footwear company. You can market other people's products. There's so many ways of making money. You can also do this as a blogger, like a normal blogger. Like, let's say you have a web page and you talk about whatever it is you want to talk about, If you have some sort of passion, you can create any sort of website about that and layer in the ads on the sides.
And there's something really big about that, is that it should be something that you're already interested in. Like, don't go and try something that might be quote unquote lucrative because everyone else is doing it, but you really have no skin in the game. You know, you have no drive for it. What you're going to excel at is what you want to excel at. So if you are interested in shoes, let's say, you know, start studying all the different types of shoes. Like find a hole in the market and try to fill it. Yeah. And it doesn't even have to be something product. Like, at least for me, like I have a couple side businesses, and one of them is massages. Like I have a bunch of acrobat friends who are always complaining about being sore, and I'm like, hey, I massage. And I mean,
you gave me a massage.
Yeah.
It's great.
And like within a couple weeks, I already have a good little client set, you know?
Yeah,
so
if you guys need a massage, hit up Abby.
Please. Yeah. I love it. Like,
yeah, it's great.
It's my favorite. I love to get into every single knot.
Yeah, I think diversifying your incomes is so important because like now I feel like I'm very, very diverse. I have like 5 different streams of income, and they're all completely different. Like one's entertainment business, one's YouTube, one is DoorDash driving, one is I create like content for other companies. I skipped a few, footwear or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, so like if one fails, they're all completely different categories. So it's not likely that 2 are going to fail. So you got to really diversify your income by using all the different kinds of skills that you have to create that income.
Well, you don't want all your eggs in one basket. And that's that's from investing to life, like anything in between. Yeah. And then it also exactly what you're saying, like it goes along the lines of if you try like 9 out of 10 times, it won't work, but all that counts is that one time. So if you can find that one thing out of 10, it could change your life.
Yeah, and definitely.
Those 9 things will still add to your knowledge. So you might as well.
Yeah, for sure. So on to the next topic is Cirque announcing their shows coming back.
Yes.
So that's good news for all the performers out there.
So Cirque just released something this past week, and it was called The Sun Rises, The Intermission is Over. And so they announced that O is going to be opening on July 1st, and then Mystère is going to be on June 28th. Crystal is actually one of their first ice show, and it'll be in Germany in September 22nd. Yeah, so there are a couple of international things that are going on, including Corteo is going to be in France and Belgium in June. And then Curios is actually going to be in Italy March of next year, so 2022.
Wow. So that's some shows if you guys are circus performers or if you're retired, I don't know.
And I got those all from the Cirque du Soleil website, so
if you wanted to see Cirque du Soleil acrobats performing with beer bellies, you should probably hit up that first month. I bet you a lot of people are going to come in out of shape, that's for sure.
Well, they're not looking for anyone who's out of, like, they've already contacted people and been like, do you want to come back? Are you good to come back? You know? And so it's nice to see that they are tallying up, and then they do have, I mean, they haven't released anything official, but they are expecting more shows, especially the Vegas shows, to open up later this year.
That's great.
Yes.
There's so many people that moved to Las Vegas for Cirque du Soleil, and then it disappeared, and now they're like, what do I do?
Well, and like so many people moved here after it disappeared for a while, and so now it's just like, holy shit, we've got so many, like,
I wonder,
competition.
Yeah, I wonder how many people are going to be like new performers in the shows, or because there's so many Cirque du Soleil acrobats. If only one show opens up in Las Vegas, they're all going for that show. For sure. I mean, and it's a water show.
Well,
have you seen O?
I have not. I've not seen any of the Las Vegas Cirque shows. The only stand corrected. I saw Mystère, and it was awesome and beautiful.
I love Mystère. That's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was so cool. It was really weird with the big baby.
The baby's weird.
Yeah, like sometimes the
baby's weird.
French Canadian circus gets a little weird, but my favorite show is definitely Amaluna. I've seen a couple of their touring shows and then both of their ice shows.
Yeah. That baby was a little weird.
But it's really cool how they, that mindset, and especially the characters that you can get into. You can get so abstract with it, and that just helps character development so much. Yeah. Oh, I miss performing. Okay, sorry.
I know. I get to perform next week for the first time in over a year.
Yes, congratulations.
Hopefully my back works by then.
Yeah, please don't.
I think it'll be good, though.
Like, I love giving massages, but I don't like broken people. So let's not do that.
I thought it was a vertebrae, but apparently it was probably more muscular.
Okay.
I got this it's called tortle. It's a
tortle?
Yeah, tortle. It's some kind of basically like an ibuprofen, but they inject it into your butt.
So like cortisol.
I don't know, maybe something like that. When they said they were going to give me an injection, I was like, ooh, I don't know if I want to do an injection. They're like, oh no, it's the best.
You want it. It's a steroid essentially.
Yeah.
So and it helps the inflammation go down, especially, but it's more of a short-term fix, long-term, not so much.
Yeah, I think it probably has to do with me doing a lot of boxing and too much rotation. Mm-hmm. Like every time you kick or throw a punch, you're rotating.
Well, it's only on one side, isn't it? For you?
No, it's on both.
It's on both?
Yeah, it's just like right above my tailbone is pretty screwed.
You got to strengthen some other places in your body, bro.
Yeah.
Because that's just an imbalance. Mm-hmm. You can do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably overworked myself trying to lose weight for these shows too.
Probably. Well,
yeah, and that's gym like 3 times a day.
That's one thing performers are so good at. It's procrastinating because we excel under pressure. You know, if you didn't, then you wouldn't be a performer. So, kind of having that self-applied pressure. Kind of sucks sometimes.
Yeah. I'm excited to see O come back, though.
Yeah.
O's one of the favorite shows. I like the high dive shows because I do high dive, so that one's the one that stands out in Vegas. I like Mystere and O probably the most. MJ was kind of, it was like, too much effects, and Love is pretty good.
I just want to see all of them.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any.
Well, we'll see which ones come back. Hopefully all of them.
Oh, yeah. I'll be front row seat. Well, maybe not. That's going to be a lot of money. So, like, nosebleed section, me. I'm
interested to see how it's ran now because they sold it. Like, I don't know how much of the company they sold or if they sold all of it or something, but there's new owners now. So, those new owners are probably going to be more about trying to save money and not waste it like
honestly
ones.
I think that's a good thing because before the pandemic they were really stretching themselves thin, and in my opinion the shows that were coming out, like obviously they were awesome, but they were just a little unfinished.
A lot of them.
They could have used another month or 2 of rehearsals or build or concept development. So hopefully that they do kind of scale back and take the more conservative approach. And they can develop some really amazing things that set Cirque back on top, because it did get super corporate for a while. And I have worked for a corporate company, and it's not so much fun as a smaller company, you know, where it's a little more personal.
Yeah, definitely. And the Ignite show. So tell me about the Ignite show.
So speaking of Cirque, Brandon Pareda and Sandy Croft. So Brandon Pareda, if you guys don't know him, he's an amazing, amazing guy, amazing acrobat. He was the red Mohawk Axel character from Zumanity, R.I.P. Zumanity. And then Sandy Croft, also, she was an artistic director for Mystere, O, and Zumanity. They're both very highly decorated performers as well as directors or producers. And they have co-directed Ignite is what the show is called. And this I got from Channel 8 News, and then as well as the Ignite website. So the show is May 7th and 8th. The show is at 7:30, but at 5 p.m. they have kind of like a food, etc. And then it's out at Sandy Valley Ranch, which I believe is about an hour and a half away from Vegas. And it's going to be set up so it's all social distance. I think it's going to be kind of like the Cirque Mechanics show where like everyone has their own little squares, but I don't know. But there'll be food trucks, once again, social distancing. It's going to be an hour and a half to 2-hour show, I believe, but it's 2 nights, like I said, May 7th and 8th at 7:30. And I really want to go. I'm super excited. Like those 2 minds together, I'm sure is going to be incredible. And we know a couple of the performers that are performing. I haven't asked them anything about it. I don't want to put them under the pressure, but it's going to be pretty cool. Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I'm excited.
It seems like a lot of the like veteran performers and stuff are creating their own things now too as well. Mm-hmm. It's probably twice as many entertainment companies nowadays as there was before COVID now.
Well, and that's just a product of the pandemic. Everyone had no time, and you've got all these creative minds with their bodies not being, only can do training and they can't perform. Like, where else are they going to go? Pretty much everyone I know, like, if they were a serious performer, they're all like, oh, I'm opening a show. And it's so crazy how I've seen just everyone pop up. I mean, including me and Preston. Like, we built our own company, and
Yeah.
for sure we're going to be building our own show. Not right now, but
Yeah.
in time.
Yeah. And so Bruno Mars is coming back, right?
Yeah, so just a couple of like weird entertainment from Vegas. It's just really nice to see things coming back. So Bruno Mars is going to be coming. He's going to be at the Park Theater at Park MGM. So it's going
I've
to be.
been there before.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully I get to go at some point.
Yeah.
Moved to Vegas right as the pandemic was happening. But so that starts on July 3rd, and then it's going to be July 3rd and 4th, 9th, 10th, 23rd, and 24th over there. And then let's see, Tao is opening up as well, the nightclub.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a good amount of the nightclubs in Vegas, like if they have been open, they've been open under restaurant name, so they could be open, but they are officially opening nightclub May 1st, I believe, and that's at the Venetian. So
Ooh.
I know Vegas nightclub's coming back.
Not gonna lie, I hate nightclubs.
I just want to go to a Vegas nightclub. That's all.
You
I
haven't been to one?
No.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, moved here right as the pandemic was happening.
Yeah, I went to one right before the pandemic happened, and we were like standing shoulder to shoulder. You couldn't dance or anything. I was like, why am I here? Like, it's so claustrophobic.
Yeah.
It's just too many people.
I feel like you have to go for the experience once, but then after that, I'd rather just work as an aerialist there or a contortionist. Like, I love working parties, or I love working events and whatnot, but attending, like, once you're on the other side, you're just like, whatever.
Yeah. Hopefully that opens up some opportunities for some performers to take some jobs.
I hope so.
Yeah, that's what I'm most excited about.
I think I've seen a couple of kind of more underground places having some performers. So, but I don't know how much I can talk about that or not. I don't know what's legal.
Well.
I will.
Yeah. And then Mr. Shaquille O'Neal
has
his own residency at the Wynn now. If you guys didn't know, Shaq lives in Vegas and he's a DJ. Who would have ever saw that one coming like 10 years ago?
Right? And he's not under the name Shaquille O'Neal. He's under DJ Diesel. Like, what? Are you trying to be Vin Diesel? Like,
it should be just Shaq, you know? Like,
right?
That's your... Because if you see DJ Diesel and you don't know who Shaq is, you're going to be like, sounds cool, but...
Who is that?
If you just see Shaq DJing or something like that, I don't know. I would just put Shaq, but...
It would definitely
DJ
be...
Diesel.
Yeah, maybe he does that, like, on purpose to be like, am I really good? Or is it just my fans coming or whatnot?
I mean, he could do anything and he's going to sell, you know?
Oh, I know. I love Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, I saw him at the... there was a, like, pet orphanage. I forget the name of it, but...
Oh.
Yeah. We were looking for... I believe we were looking for cats at the time or something. And Shaq walks in. And it was like, whoa. And he was, like, adopting a dog or something. And... just seeing him in person, I was like, oh my God, he's gigantic.
He just keeps getting better.
Oh, it's so crazy.
I can only imagine seeing him in person. Like,
yeah.
Oof.
Huge. And Shaquille is such a celebrity that it wasn't even like, I just took out my phone and I was like, check. And I took a photo. And I'm like, that was kind of rude, but he's such a big level celebrity. Like, it's like, I don't know, seeing Joe Rogan or Shaq or The Rock or something. You're just going to be like, huh. Need to take a photo of this. Look, I saw Shaq today.
Oh, I think no, it was someone else posted it. Did you see Joe Rogan? He posted something like slamming the Vegas. I guess this ties more into UFC, but.
Oh, are you talking about Dana White posting?
Yes, Dana White, but iPad.
Oh, yeah. So the Las Vegas News decided to write an article on Dana White and how he's like creating basically like a COVID cesspool by having fans back at the UFC events. And I'm just like, can you guys just be happy that we're trying to get back to normal life? Like, if you don't want to go, don't go.
Well, and there was a line in the article that was like 15,000 people are willing to risk permanent damage or death to come. And it's like, really? Come on. Like, Vegas... It's opening. It needs to be open. Like, at this point, COVID, like, vaccine is coming. I don't know about you, but pretty much everyone I know who had COVID was okay. Like, I had COVID. I didn't even know I had COVID. Like, I lost my taste and smell. I quarantined for a week just because of that, but anything else, I was like, I'm not feeling anything. So
yeah, I think we need to get back to normal life already.
Yeah.
I think it's been a year. And touching on that, the UFC also had their first event back with 15,000 fans, and it was in Florida, and no one was wearing a mask.
Whoa, Florida!
It's just seeing the event on TV and like the crowd, it was just like so epic.
Seeing a crowd again, holy
I know,
crap!
It was like, whoa. I think you have to submit like a COVID test or something like that, proving
most likely.
Yeah,
which isn't bad. That's fine, like.
But it's like if you're scared, don't go, and stay home.
Yeah.
If you should be able to do things that if you want to do them,
Yeah.
We can't just keep everyone hidden away for the rest of humanity because one virus came around.
I know.
That 0.01 people die from.
Well, and it's so crazy how how strep, the regular flu, all the other like diseases kind of disappeared in the eyes of the media this year. Like it's really crazy how it's only been COVID. No one else is getting sick with anything else.
Nope. Yeah.
Heavy
and as long as you're
sarcasm.
not walking into a restaurant, seems like you're okay. It's just that period when you're walking from the door to the table that you can get COVID, but once you're at that table, you're safe.
Immunity.
Yeah.
They spray their booths with something special,
I don't think it would be a pandemic if you could do that, in my opinion.
There are so many mixed opinions about the pandemic. Like, I get it, COVID. Like, my sister, she works in hospitals, and actually in Florida. She's in Tampa. And she has seen a lot of COVID-related deaths and, like, really sudden ones. But at the same time, like, it doesn't affect 50% of the people. It affects what's the number? 90%? Not even, like 95% of the people.
Yeah.
Like that, or maybe even 98. Like, I don't know. I could just be throwing out random numbers too.
I think I heard 99% of statistics were made up.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, but the UFC this weekend was epic. Along with having a crowd there, Chris Weidman, who people might know who Chris Weidman is if you're not super into UFC. 7 years ago, Anderson Silva snapped his leg, basically his tibia and fibula, right in half by kicking Chris Weidman's leg. And he checked the kick, and same thing happened to Chris Weidman a couple days ago, which
Karma.
is so ironic that it happened to him on, like, oh my God.
Both the fibula and tibia?
It snapped. Like, his leg went from, like, straight to flopping around. It was disgusting. The bone broke through the skin.
Oh,
stepped
compound fracture.
on it after.
Woo!
Yeah, he stepped on it after because he didn't know it was broken.
Oh, no. He
It
knew
was
afterwards. That's for sure.
Disgusting. The most disturbing thing I've ever seen on the UFC. And it just ruined my night. And I keep seeing people playing videos of it. I was like, ugh, guys, stop sharing this. And thank God he's going to make a full recovery, he said.
Good.
Probably like 12 months out. But...
Yeah.
Woo, that was disgusting.
Those injuries that are just rough, like the impact ones that break through skin, where the joint is something where it shouldn't be. Like, I've seen a lot of those recently, and those are hard. Like, I don't get squeamish, but those will do it.
I get squeamish when I see that stuff. I'm like, ooh, that's gross. And ironically, that was one of the first UFCs I ever saw was Anderson Silva snapping his leg against Chris. I've seen them both. It's only happened a handful of times too in UFC.
But you would think that it would happen more. I mean, with the amount of force, like
you're literally kicking someone's leg as hard as you possibly can, and if they turn their leg and you kick it perfectly, it's just so much force. You're like, might as well kick a pole.
Well, like that's how a lot of training happens. At least with my instructor, he used to just kick trees, like
that's a thing
with his shin, just to desensitize it and like get it stronger. So that is crazy that it doesn't happen more in fights, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. It's disgusting, though.
Could you imagine,
Ruined
like,
my day.
looking down and just your leg is on the other side of the ring?
Don't want to even think about it. Let's move on to the next topic.
The octagon.
What else do we have? That's all the entertainment stuff. So now let's get into the controversial stuff.
Yeah, I'm so out of the loop on this. Inform me.
I don't really pay attention to this kind of stuff very much until I see people posting it on Facebook, and then I'm like, let me just do some research on this. So originally, a news article came out, and it was like 16-year-old girl shot by a white cop, and was, I guess, supposedly, originally, the original story came out, this girl called the cops, and then she got shot by the cop. There was very little information in there. And then the next day, the video comes out, and it's a 16-year-old girl who is in the process of stabbing someone else. Like, literally, her arm is up, and it's about to go into this person, and then she gets shot by the cop. So basically, I don't even think she called the cops, because I heard that was debunked, and it wasn't actually her that called the cops. But regardless, if the cops show up, and you are in the process of trying to kill someone, you are probably going to get shot.
Yeah.
Probably.
I mean, there are definitely ways that I don't know. That's such a hard situation. I feel like that's something that kind of gets lost in a lot of these. Like, yes, body cams can show a lot of physical what's happening, but the amount of adrenaline, the amount of like how many things are going through your mind, like what is the best way to do this and this, and I don't know. Like, what would you do? Would you tackle her? Would you shoot her in the arm?
No,
would you?
I'm not. Yeah, I would probably. I would have done the exact same thing. Like, there's not really much you can do. Like, if someone's about to commit murder on someone, and you're a policeman and you're watching, there's only one thing you can do, and save the person who's about to get killed. And it sucks, but I mean, people are saying like, "Oh, should have used his taser or pepper spray." Okay, pepper spray is not going to work, especially from like 15 feet away. Like, taser, swipe. You only have one shot, and if you miss, then it doesn't even work. And you, for one, they're moving around, like scrambling with each other, so you can't just shoot a taser, especially from like 10 feet away or 15 feet away.
Right. Sorry, help me understand. Was there any way that cop could have like come into the situation and she was defending herself in any way?
Oh, it definitely wasn't self-defense.
No. Okay.
No. I mean, people claim it was, but she had just tackled this girl, and then the girl that got tackled, and people miss this, but her dad punted this girl's head.
Oh my God. Wait, what? How do you do that?
She literally punted it, like a dad kicking like a 16-year-old girl in the head, basically.
Oh my God.
It's just like, Jesus, this is getting crazy, you know?
They need Jesus.
Something like that. Like this,
or whatever you believe in.
Yeah, I don't know. But when shit gets wild like that, it's basically like a toss-up of what happens, you know?
Interesting.
I don't know. I would think that when the cops would show up, she would have chilled out and not taken that as her time to stab the other person, but I think it is.
That's something that, like, the disrespect that has come to the police force from this past year. Like, I'm not saying that all police are good, and there is corruption.
Oh yeah,
like there is corruption. People definitely abuse their power. Like that is huge, but that is in any industry. And unfortunately, like, police is a huge force, but the amount of disrespect that has come to just has come to play, like, is insane. And I feel like if there was just more respect on both sides, you know, like, there is a huge call for respect from the police down, but there needs to be respect from us, you know, on the way up. And like,
they're like one of the things, like, they don't get any praise when they do their job correctly. Yeah. But then when they do it wrong, then all eyes are on them. Yeah. And like Chauvin, the guy who killed, what's the dude's name?
Once again, so bad with names.
Yeah, I don't watch the new stuff. The Derek Chauvin, he just got convicted of murder. That one was pretty.
George Floyd, right?
Yeah, George Floyd. That one was that was more of a murder for sure. Like, he should not have been on that guy's back for so long.
Yeah, I know that
it was definitely useless. Like, did not need to use that kind of force. But yeah.
I mean, it's so hard because a lot of these situations are controversial depending on...
That one was much less controversial, though. Yeah. That one was more like, yeah, he definitely was not doing a good job there.
Yeah.
Probably
could have done it better.
Probably could have... I mean, the guy's handcuffed. He could have just let him lay there instead of kneeling on his back or neck or whatever. Mm-hmm. But anyways, also... controversial related, the Portland mayor, after defunding the police of $1 million in their budget...
That's not the answer.
Is now asking citizens to help fight against, not fight, but report the anarchists who are burning down their city. So basically, now with all these like cases coming back up, I guess you would call them Antifa, is back burning down buildings and looting and stuff. And now the mayor, who was previously kind of cheering it on, is now like saying, "Hey, we need your guys' help."
hey, remember what I said?
Mhm.
Do the exact opposite now.
Remember what I said? Yeah, actually, I was wrong. But that's just, I don't know, man. I don't think.
They need a neighborhood watch. That's what they need.
Some people say that could be a good solution, and I think policing in different neighborhoods, I think it could be better. You know, like if you're policing your own neighborhood where you're friends with people and everyone knows you and that kind of stuff, it's always a better situation than when you're just patrolling some random areas that you don't really care about. I feel like that could be a solution, like a neighborhood watch kind of thing.
Well, when you build a community like that, you know, people want to have your back. I mean, even in our neighborhood, unfortunately, there's been a lot of crime popping up. Like, and we live in a pretty okay neighborhood. Like, you know, but there'll be people coming around at night trying to get into people's doors, see if they're unlocked, check all the cars. Like, we literally last week had a scare where we had to run outside because we got a text from our neighbor saying, hey, someone's trying to break into our car. So, like, it was really cool to see all of the, like, 4 or 5 different neighbors come in together, and we're all just like, rah, 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 you know, and looking and reporting, like, all the different things. And then if you get onto the, like, neighborhood watch app, or what is that, the next door neighbor app, that's just scary because you see so much stuff.
I mean, at least like security cameras are becoming a thing, and cars are much harder to break into than they used to be. And I don't know, man, when I got my car broken into the first week that I moved to Las Vegas. My car was broken into in my own driveway, and they stole like a bunch of stuff too. And then all my neighbors got their cars broken into, and we all woke up the next morning. It's like, my neighbors were like, oh, this happens like once a year. I'm like, oh, great. I moved to like the nicest area of Las Vegas, and this is what happens on the first week. That's what I was trying to avoid. That's
what happened with my roommate. Like, her car got broken into, and a katana was stolen. Like,
yeah.
Like, come on, guys. Whatever. Back to the neighborhood watch. Yeah, guys, build your own community. Like, have your neighbors' backs, because it's so much better when you know your neighbors, and you can, you know, have that little bit of friendly chat, and then you also know what's going on. So keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
Yep. That being said, let's move on to the last topic, and that is something that is not controversial, but it's very popular, and that's online dating. Yeah. Have you ever done online dating, like Bumble, Tinder?
Yes.
Grindr?
Yes. Not Grindr. No, but I've heard a lot about Grindr.
Yep. Haven't downloaded that one yet, but
maybe in time.
Yeah. So a lot of people are kind of saying how online dating is ruining actual dating, you know? And I think so I was listening to a podcast about this recently, and it was they're basically saying how the same group of like 18 to 24-year-old girls go after the same age of guys, you know? But the same guys are going after the same girls, but they're not really compatible, like when you're going after someone who's like 10 years older than you.
Yeah.
So there's this, I wish I could explain it better, but it was basically like all of the girls are going for the same group of guys, and all of the guys who are like 18 to 24 years old are not getting like swiped right on and stuff because they're too young, they don't have their life together and that kind of stuff.
Who does?
Yeah, I think I do. I'm trying. But
you're not 24.
That's true. I'm 30, so I guess I fall into that category now. But it's like all girls are going for the same category of guys, and then the guys that are that age are basically screwed. Like there's some statistics saying like, I think it was like 90% or 90% of messages sent are sent to the same 10% of guys.
Wow.
Yeah. So basically there's like a monopoly of like guys who are 30 to 40 years old who are just getting all of the messages from the girls. And then the girls, because they have access to those kind of guys, don't even bother with the guys who don't like have their life completely together, you know?
Yeah. Interesting. I don't know. The last time I used dating apps was probably in college. So a long time ago, or like right after college. And I don't know. I was not looking for settling down or anything. I was looking just to have fun, you know, and go around and whatever. And I don't know. That's really interesting. But is that any different than like regular dating? Because I feel like majority, like women are attracted to a little bit older because of the maturity, you know?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I know that for me, like I never wanted to date anyone who was my age because they were just immature or, I mean, granted, I'm not the most mature, but that's okay.
Yeah.
So
but I feel like back before, like there was like Bumble and Tinder and stuff, like you would pretty much have to meet them in person, you know? And like, if you're a college kid, you're meeting college people,
Mm-hmm.
you know? If you're a college dude, you're meeting college girls and stuff.
Okay.
And that's typically who you start dating. But now everyone has access to everyone.
Yeah. So it is the accessibility.
It kind of becomes like a monopoly for the guys who have like, and then same thing, vice versa for the guys. They're all going for the 18 to 24-year-old girls, you know, because that's when girls are like at their prime.
Well,
I guess,
and you can't go really younger than 18 if you are over 18, you know, that just legality wise.
You shouldn't, for sure.
Yeah, that's a really weird
do, though.
gray area. Probably not a good one to step your toe in. So
yeah,
but I don't know. That's a really interesting point that you bring up, you know, especially there is a monopoly on 30 to 40-year-olds with guys. I don't know. I don't know if I would want like a 30 to 40-year-old. I don't know, but I also have a lot of friends who do date older, you know, and
I think it's important to date someone who's the same age as you, because you're on the same playing field and you have the same things going on in your life, versus if you're dating someone who's way younger than you, they're in like a different part of their life, you know?
Well, and that's what it really comes down to, is what part of life are you at? Because if you are, let's say, ready to settle down, you know, and you're a little bit older and you want to have kids and whatnot, and you're dating someone who is younger and who does not want that, who still wants 10 years out of their career before they have any kids, like, so I guess it would just be compatibility with the stage of life that you're in. So I don't know if it really has to do with age, but more so what you're doing at that time.
Yeah. Have you seen the movie Idiocracy?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God. So this is real life situation that's happening now.
Okay.
It's all the people who should not be reproducing, who are not ready to be reproducing, are the ones who are reproducing a lot. And then the ones who actually have their stuff together, like, man, I think we'll wait a little bit longer, and then maybe we'll have like 1 or 2 kids. But then the people who are like 18 and 21 years old, who don't have their life together,
are reproducing.
Just reproducing with no means of like raising that kid correctly.
Yeah.
So the world's just going to get dumber and dumber and dumber.
Well, hopefully there's a correction in that, you know, because unfortunately with things getting more idiotic or whatever, just a little less developed, you know, and starting young, like, I feel like there will be a correction, because eventually the people who have built up their careers or do have a sturdy platform to be able to raise a child and to really finance a child, because it's way more than just a responsibility. It's a financial commitment.
Yep.
Like,
it's got to be a team effort.
Oh, yeah. Like, I can, like, to all the single mothers, single fathers, like, who raise their children, bow down to you, because that is hard. I mean, I was raised by 2 parents, and that was hard enough for them.
Yeah, I was raised by 2 parents as well. Yeah, and it's still hard for them, I'm sure. Like, raising a kid's got to be insanely hard.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's so much doubt. There's so much doubt, too, on the mother and father side, you know, like, are you doing a good job at raising the child?
Yeah. And
you don't really have any way to judge that until you see how they come out. Even then, a good child, you know, might have been raised by bad parents or vice versa.
That's true.
So it's so subjective. You just got to do your best and always try to think of other people before you, because it is a selfless act of giving birth. Like, so
definitely is. You got to put all your efforts towards that kid.
Yeah.
But that being said, that's all we got for you guys today. If you guys enjoy these videos and podcasts, subscribe to the channel and check us out on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and then our new channel on YouTube. And make sure you guys subscribe. So, Abby Walker, what's your Instagram and where can we find you?
I'm what am I? Oh, yeah. At ABIWALK_615 on Instagram. That's AbbyWalk615. And then, don't try to find me anywhere else. I'm not anywhere.
Yeah. Yep. And you guys can follow me on Instagram at Tanner Markley and everywhere else. Thank you guys for listening. We will see you in the next one. Peace.
Bye.
All right.